Story time on how I started electrolysis and why I chose it over laser hair removal. So I've always been a pretty fuzzy girl. Always had peach fuzz, aka vellus hairs, all on my face. And it wasn't until about age 25 I started to notice that I was getting really thick, coarse hairs, one or two, only on the left side of my face, which was pretty manageable. I just plucked them and went on with my day. Those 2 and 3 hairs quickly turned into 5, 6, 7 hairs, and I started noticing them on the right side of my chin. Manageable still, I just plucked them, but it was concerning at this point. I was a little frustrated, like, why are all these hairs popping up on my chin? So I continued to pluck and then incorporated the in-home dermaplaning method at the time, and my skin looked amazing. Like, I loved the results. I just wasn't really bothered, even though I had to pluck pretty much weekly at this point. Slowly, I started to notice that those thin vellus hairs were getting a little bit more thicker, a little darker, mainly at the root of the hair, like at the base. I could see that it was thin at the end, but pretty dark at the base. So at that point, I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a try with waxing. So I ordered an in-home waxing kit and decided to just go ahead and slap it on my face and rip the hair off. And it worked, my skin looked good. The hair wasn't growing back as fast, and I liked how my skin looked at the time. I want to say about 5, 6 months go by, and I'm starting to notice that my skin is looking pretty dark in the areas that I'm waxing. And I'm just like, okay, what else can I do at this point? I don't know what's really going on, but it was starting to look dark, and then I noticed I was getting more hair growth, and it was starting to travel along my jawline. So still, I'm like, okay, you know what? There has to be something I can do about this. At this point, it was the hair, the hyperpigmentation I was experiencing, and then slowly a little bit of the texture from the ingrowns. So I did what every woman would probably do, go online and figure out what best product would work. And nothing really worked. I tried them all, spent so much money on just different products because at this point, I wanted my skin to look good because I'm used to wearing no makeup. I like going out without makeup. And then when I do put makeup on, I want it to look nice and smooth. Like, I like to have a very flawless finish when it comes to my makeup. Didn't really change anything. The hyperpigmentation was still there. When I took the makeup off, my ingrowns were kind of getting out of control at this point. And there was like no middle place. I couldn't find any middle ground to where I was starting to feel satisfied with what I was doing at home. The hair was literally affecting my social life. I felt like the only friend that was struggling with this excessive hair growth, and I felt like the only friend that had just the worst skin. I didn't want to go out at this point. Nobody understood. And even dating, like, I didn't want to date. I was like, they're gonna notice the hair, they're gonna notice the bumps on my face because of this hair growth. Like, I just didn't feel my best. I felt so awful and just so insecure. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? My skin's affected. The hair is nonstop growing. I'm just gonna go ahead and reach out to my doctor and figure out what's going on. Like, this has to be something deeper than what I'm assuming it is. Let's see if I can find answers. So reached out to my doctor and pretty much requested a blood panel screening, got that all situated, results came back, and there was nothing wrong with my hormones. Like, my hormones were fine. I even asked him about PCOS, and he was like, no, it's not PCOS. At that point, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm just a hairy girl, I guess. So the research didn't stop there. I left the appointment and pretty much went ahead and took matters into my own hands. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to look into what method I can do to get rid of this permanently. So I did my research like any girl would, and I came across laser hair removal. And then upon searching for laser hair removal, I came across electrolysis. So at this point, I had 2 different options in my hand, and I was going to war with them both, trying to figure out, okay, what was gonna be the best for me, because there's obviously something going on hormonally because I'm getting the growth in a hormonal area. And then I also was thinking about price. So I was like, what can I afford? Also wanted to figure out what was going to be the quickest. And I couldn't really find like a middle ground. So digging into laser hair removal, I saw so many things about how women who have a possible hormonal imbalance or just really bad excessive hair growth in that hormonal area should not get laser hair removal. So I kind of ruled that out because I was like, okay, I want to get rid of the hairs and I'm not paying for more hair to grow. I looked into electrolysis and I was okay, cool. This is FDA approved. It can take a longer time and the cost is kind of similar. Like I break down things to a T. So when I was like looking at the price point for laser hair removal and broke down like the sessions that I would have to take for electrolysis and how much it would cost, I was going to be paying a little bit more for electrolysis, but the fact that it was permanent just kind of won me over. And also there was nothing gonna come back from it. You know, I wasn't gonna get more hair growth, and I like the fact that it worked for everyone. Like you didn't have to have, you know, just dark hair. Like there was just so many different things. Like anybody could get electrolysis, and also like the fact that it was very like detail oriented. So each hair that they're treating, they're going in and like treating it individually. I like that. It wasn't just something quick and you're on your way. You're going to be paying for time for somebody to remove these hairs for good. And I love that. So did my research and tried to find somebody local that could treat my hairs. And that was such a headache. That was such a headache because there's very limited amount of electrologists, number one, in the world. And on top of that, the people that do it, their wait list was like ridiculous. So I was not getting emails back or calls back. You know, I was feeling hopeless. I was so desperate that I might try laser and maybe it will work for me. Laser may be what works for me. I don't know, but we have to give it a try. So I was getting ready to book a laser appointment like an idiot. And literally an electrologist had reached out to me and was like, hey, I saw your inquiry, come in for a consultation. So at this point I'm like, okay, yes, finally. So I go in for my consultation. She treats my hairs, and literally in that just one session, she probably treated like 10, maybe like 10 hairs. But in that one session, when I left, like it was like the smallest patch, but it was the smoothest my skin has ever felt. I can't even really explain it and put it into words. Like my skin just felt so brand new. Like it felt so soft. Like it didn't feel like, you know how you wax your skin and you still feel kind of like it doesn't feel as smooth, and you tweeze or you like do the at-home dermaplaning. It was just a different kind of smoothness. Like this was brand new skin. I was convinced I have brand new skin, and I was just happy. So I booked another appointment with her, and COVID hit. COVID hit and I was devastated because I wanted this lady. I was willing to pay like a 2-hour session. I think at that time it was about maybe $225. I didn't care. I was like, you know what? My skin feels so good. Like I know you're gonna do an amazing job. Please book me. She was like, can't do it. We're closed for COVID. Got it. No problem. So I just waited until the lockdown was lifted, and she ended up moving. She moved, like she moved. At this point, like I was following all her directions, like, you know, make sure you drink plenty of water, make sure your skin's hydrated, you know, let the hair grow out a certain length. Don't do anything to manipulate the root of the hair, meaning I couldn't wax anymore, I couldn't tweeze anymore. And I was fine with doing that because I was walking around with a mask anyway. So yeah, found out she ended up moving. So here I am. I'm like, you know what? Desperate again. I'm like, okay, I might just have to try laser. And something was like, no, just wait, just be patient and wait. So I sent an inquiry out to another electrologist, and she was like, yeah, come see me. Like, I got you. And so she basically treated my hairs. I told her I already had a consultation. I already know what to expect. She's like pretty big out here in this area. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, get these hairs gone. Let's do it. I want a 2-hour session. She knocked out so many hairs within this 2 hours. It was ridiculous. After the appointment, I was a little kind of like on edge because number one, my face was pretty swollen because it was an intense session. I was a little bit nervous about what exactly my skin would actually look like and feel like, you know, like taking off the band-aid and, you know, being able to see what your skin actually looks like. And then, yeah, I was like, okay, you know what, whatever, we'll just have to wait and see. So a few days go by and my skin looks amazing. Like, I was just like so excited with how my skin felt and looked, and it just healed so beautifully. And I was just so excited. And that was when my self-love journey actually began. It was like in between sessions, you know, obviously I was trying to be mindful about how much money I wanted to spend on this treatment. I was trying to be mindful about, you know, just being patient with my skin and the results. And I feel like that was like it's a different level of self-love that I was really experiencing at that time. Just the patience and seeing the beauty in what I wanted to invest in, you know, like I feel like I had self-love before I started my treatments, but being able to love myself through the journey was really what did it for me. I still love myself to this day as I finish my treatments, because I did have a small delay. My delay was because I decided to go and become an electrologist. The feeling that I felt was just something I wanted to bring to so many people that looked like me, that were just really battling the stuff that I was feeling with this unwanted facial hair. And I learned so much through this process. I learned a deeper understanding of temporary hair removal methods. I learned a deeper understanding of skin. I learned the do's and don'ts in between treatments. I learned how you should love your skin and really nourish your skin. I learned that hyperpigmentation products and dark spot removal products will absolutely not work on someone that is experiencing this excessive hormonal growth. I've learned so much, and I just want to come on here and share. And for those that already follow me on Instagram and on my Facebook, I am just so happy to provide another space to really talk about it, just a safe space for those that are really interested in wanting to explore more options or wanting to educate themselves further on their skin, on their hair, and just self-love in general. This is a patient space. This is a safe space. And I just hope you guys are ready to go on this journey with me as I bring more awareness to it. If you are interested, don't forget to subscribe. If you'd love to see some of my before and after photos, my portfolio is available on Instagram. My @ is one electrolysis. You can follow me there, follow me here, and subscribe to my website as well. I'm always releasing new blogs that basically just outline the things that we don't know or things that we may not know. And I just hope to help walk you through it. Bye.